Boxing.
Boxing.
So left and right.
The topic we were on, like, what, like
Jake Paul,
Jake Paul, Mike Tyson.
What the
Yeah, Jake Paul is not a boxer.
No.
He's not.
No.
He won't. I don't see him a boxer in my eyes.
Neither is his brother
When did I
Logan.
miss this?
Logan should just stick to wrestling. Like,
Yeah,
Logan.
and to be
he's
fair, at least Logan realized he wasn't a boxer, and he shifted away from it for a bit. Like he knows that's not something that's entirely
And
something that
Jake
he's
Paul
good at.
has such a high ego too.
Like, he can't step
Oh,
away
true,
from it.
yeah. Like, Logan got humbled so bad after, like, how people treated him on the internet, and he grew up after that.
Right.
That was
Like,
after the Floyd Mayweather fight, no?
I
realized?
Yeah.
think so. Well, yeah. Who's fucking fighting?
Floyd Mayweather.
I cannot talk. Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
And how are you not going to be humbled after that?
Exactly.
Come on.
And even after that, for example, I mean, you know KSI, like, he became friends with KSI after that because, like, I mean, they buried the hatchet because they were like, you know what?
Prime.
Yeah, Prime.
Like, yeah, Prime, and the fact that they realized, like, both of them were, like, itty-bitty babies at the point, and they were just getting angry, essentially, for views.
Yeah.
Like, they had no reason to hate each other at all.
They really didn't.
Oh, they really didn't.
He's not a dog.
Yo, it's gonna be so weird on the podcast. It's just gonna be Juan just, like, touching my hair. It's gonna be crazy, bro.
Canelo, I heard. Which
Does he?
Yeah.
What?
what's it called?
Jake
Jake Paul wants to fight Canelo.
Oh, my
I
God.
wish Mike Tyson would have whooped his ass.
Yeah.
Humble the fuck out of here.
Bro, Canelo would kill Jake.
Yes.
Because he has so much good head movement in his hands.
Oh,
And those
absolutely.
body
Dude,
shots,
Jake
too.
doesn't, based on what I see, he blocks with his face. He dodges with his face. He literally, I don't think I've ever seen him dodge once.
I don't think so.
I think he just gets it all the
Yeah.
time.
And then just tries to fire back afterwards.
Yeah, which never works.
Yeah, because surprisingly, when you're rocked and you're, like, you know, seeing tunnel vision, it's kind of hard to get into the flow.
Right, you're gonna miss, and if you do hit, it's not gonna be like full force punch.
And if you miss, you're gonna get countered with a
Yeah.
hook or something.
Exactly. Like it's dangerous to throw when you're at that stage because you're not at your best coordination, and when you're not at your best coordination, it just makes it that easier to slip and counter you.
But
Because if they get
yeah.
an angle on you, let's say they throw a hook, they go under you, and they throw a hook from the same side, now they have that angle on you, and they're gonna hit the entire side of your face, and you're just cooked.
Right. But like before the Mike Tyson fight, those fights were pretty fire. Not gonna lie.
Which ones?
The ones before Jake Paul and Mike
Like
Tyson.
Tyron Woodley, Anderson
Yeah,
Silva.
the women
those
especially.
ones, yeah.
The women, they were freaking boxing. They weren't dodging. They were just throwing hands.
Yeah, the women.
You
Okay,
saw
true,
that?
yeah.
They were throwing hands. And one of them kept cheating. They kept headbutting him.
Yeah.
The freaking skin was flapping, dude. You just saw that?
That was terrible.
What?
Yeah, the skin was flapping. Like it was like a big cut right here, and it started flapping mid-fight, bro.
Dude, I heard of an injury like that in the UFC, but it wasn't through a headbutt. It was this fighter, I think, called Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and they had a really bad referee during the fight. So the other female fighter was beating her really bad, right? But she wasn't able to defend herself. And, you know, as a referee, how it works is, at least in, you know, the UFC or MMA, how they work is the moment you stop intelligently defending yourself, that's when the referee's supposed to step in.
They're supposed to protect the fighters. All the time.
Exactly. You're supposed to protect the fighters at all
Yeah,
times.
because you're not supposed to die.
Yeah,
exactly.
In the octagon.
Like,
They're there.
Octagon.
Shut the
yeah, like, as you know, like you'll see someone get knocked out for like 1 second, 2 second, fall over, and the fight's over.
Yeah.
But this referee didn't stop anything. So this lady was just wailing on her for like 25 seconds straight, and her head swelled up to like
I think I
a
saw the
gigantic.
aftermath. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like a pumpkin, and that was like
crazy.
terrifying.
It was
That would be terrible.
massive.
Shut up.
I know what you want.
Shut up, Michael.
Every time.
Martial arts sports are scary.
Yeah, they are.
Because
Dude, you seen that one video of like a karate match or whatever, fighting an MMA fighter?
Oh,
and getting
yeah, and you get
absolutely
Yeah, and
destroyed.
getting no, it was so funny. It was so funny.
And then I think China, like,
Yeah, China
Oh,
got mad at
China
the
got
MMA
mad.
fighter for making
their
karate look bad.
their
Karate
martial
match.
their national
Yeah.
martial arts
Yeah.
look bad, like
And
like
it's-
useless against like combat.
Yeah, it's so funny because after that point, they started making their own MMA fighters and putting them into the UFC.
Yeah.
Like, for example, there's Wei Li. Wei Li is a female Chinese UFC fighter. You can tell China designed her
Yeah.
to be what she is in the UFC. So China, after that, they they got humbled and they were like, oh, okay, that's not something we should do.
But like,
Korea has good fighters though.
Oh yeah.
Also MMA.
Oh, absolutely. Korean Zombie.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
Before he started going on a losing streak.
Okay, true.
I mean, he was getting old, so it makes sense.
True. I mean, it happens to the best
Yeah,
fighters.
ages catch up to people.
It happened to Tony Ferguson. It happened to
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson, Max Holloway.
Mike Tyson.
Tyson.
Everyone
Let's
knows
see.
about that.
Happened to. I don't know if I would say Conor McGregor, but he started losing. Yeah. Before he got really old, it just
I
kind
think
of.
that Khabib fight when he lost that all of his just. It all
Yeah.
went down for him.
I think it all just went to his head.
Yeah.
You know, because he was like, "Oh,
True.
I'm the best. I'm unstoppable," and
And
then
then he lost to Khabib.
Yeah, and then
that loss kind of like
Yeah.
spiraled him down a little bit.
yeah. And the worst part is he is talented. I know
Oh,
what.
yeah.
I
A
know
lot of
that.
them are, bro.
It's just that
Y'all
when
think
you
you can be in the UFC? Be an MMA fighter?
It depends on training.
Honestly,
and camp what I get into.
I honestly think I could, because the thing about UFC is your mentality can be literally anything as long as you show up and you fight, you're good. Like, I know a bunch of
for
fighters
sure.
that kind of just walk in there and they're just like, I trained.
Yeah.
I want to fight. And then they just win.
But like the thing is, you don't want to be that dude who's getting the shit rocked, dude.
No.
You don't want to be that guy who's just getting pummeled and lose with him.
I think learning is harder than actually doing it. I think
True.
the pressure will get to people once you step into the ring or the octagon.
Yeah, because
Oh, yeah.
everybody is staring at you. You're about to fight this man who's like
in front of literally
Yeah.
probably
Cameras,
tens of thousands of
like,
people.
yeah, everybody's
Because so many
broadcasting.
people buy those PPV fights
Yeah.
and those cards. Though, I guess if you're being realistic with it and you know where you are in the UFC, let's say you know you're a new fighter and you're not like gigantic, but you're there. You know you're going to be low on the card, so not many people are probably going to be paying attention to your fight as much as the
but
other
you're
ones.
still gonna be.
But you're
like,
still on
you're-
camera.
yeah.
You're still
Like you're gonna be
out
that.
there.
You're gonna be the what's the word?
The warm-up fighters.
The warm-up fighters.
Yeah, the
For the
warm-up fighters.
bigger guys.
Yeah.
So
So
people
then
are
there's
going to
still
be
gonna be a
sitting
lot
there
of people
watching
there.
you.
Yeah.
They're still gonna watch you, like,
And they'll still pick
especially
you.
if you're amateur, because then
Yeah.
that's when they want to see, like, yo,
Oh,
see if this
true.
guy has potential to be
Yeah.
like the best, you know,
Yeah.
to like rise to the top. They're gonna like want to look at that.
Then we'll see those fights, and if you get knocked out bad, you get clipped and
Yeah.
become a meme.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
true.
get what I mean.
Yeah,
True.
You get cooked.
Like Tyron Woodley, bro, when he got knocked out by Jake Paul.
Oh yeah. See, I mean, that was sad.
That was sad.
That's so
He was
sad.
such a good UFC fighter back then.
He was.
And then-
Though to be fair,
in his prime.
And his
Yeah,
Like
in
I
his prime.
say-
Almost all of them in
Not
their
when
prime.
Jake Paul was fighting.
and I think the issue with that is you can't bring an MMA fighter into a boxing match and expect them to do the same, because the
Yeah.
thing about boxing is it's entirely different and you're
Yeah.
only allowed
Yeah,
to use your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
with
as an MMA fighter, I remember watching.
MMA fighter, you use whatever you have.
Yeah, you use
Basically,
literally anything and everything. You're used to moving different,
Yeah,
standing
you
different.
get them in holds. It's all about like how you're holding them to
Yeah.
get them down, break, like forcing almost their arm to break.
I'm pretty sure Woodley was
And
a
boxing,
wrestler.
you're just throwing
Yeah,
hands.
Tyron Woodley wasn't even a fighter like
was a
that.
wrestler.
He was a wrestler.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't think it was too impressive to do that, because
Yeah.
you're bringing someone whose main way of winning fights
Well, that's kind
was
of
to
how all
physically
MMA
move
fighters
you
are. They all
around.
started something else, and they're like, "Oh,
And then
let's
they
do
did-
this."
Yeah, and they work
become
on
the
the-
MMA.
Yeah, and then they work on other stuff. Yeah, like they never start doing like all
Yeah,
four grounds.
Yeah.
MMA is not the first one they usually start with. They always start with some other martial art, whatever, have some experience,
Yeah, and then
And
they
then they
branch
go
out
in,
from
yeah.
there.
and then they start to learn how to do all this other moves. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And what's your guys' thoughts on the pure wrestlers right now taking over the UFC from Dagestan and all?
I think it's sad because it's oversaturation and it's getting to the point where it's like no joy in it anymore.
Yeah, because all you do is watching men wrestle.
Exactly.
There's like no fighting no more.
I don't
really?
like
Yeah.
wrestling
That sucks.
for that reason
Yeah.
because they're just on the floor rolling around.
Yeah.
Like, just like who's gonna be on top? Oh, like that's not interesting.
And
That's
to
not
be
entertaining.
fair, the thing about wrestling is or really any ground game is it's like chess, as my dad says. But when you're watching it, it's hard to see 90% of what is going on. So from your perspective, it's literally just this dude on top of another dude swaying, and they're just,
It's
and
all
they're
it
just
is.
sitting
Just
there.
sweating.
dudes.
It's not
Roll around
entertaining
on
to
each
watch
Yeah.
at all.
and they're just like fiddling with each other's arms, trying to get their arms underneath the other arm. Like you know what they're trying to do,
strategic, right? Like just like you said, like chess. It's very it's very
chess.
strategic.
Yeah,
but it's boring to watch. It's just like chess.
Exactly. Like it's not like
It's not true though.
it's not allowed to do that. It's cool to do that and submit people, but when every single fight is the same thing over and over again, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah, it gets boring.
Yeah.
It gets very boring.
Like, you know what this Dagestani fighter is going to do. He's going to come in, he's going to go for the double leg, lift you up, slam you down.
Somebody
and
just
you know
needs
the
to,
next...
like, one hit him, bro. That's all I need to see.
What's so hard
Just throw a punch. Just throw a punch. Knee him. Anything, man. I just want to see somebody go down, right?
It's hard to stop takedowns and predict them as well.
Yeah.
And it drains your stamina as well once you're on the ground.
Oh, so much.
Oh, yeah. You're tussling. You're on the floor, rolling around, trying to get on top. While that other guy is also trying to keep you down.
With all his weight, too.
Yeah, with all his weight. So you're pushing up. Yeah, that is very tiring. I would say that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like not fun anymore.
Yeah, it's informational.
We're just talking about fighting.
Getting hit in the back of the head and,
That's an illegal move, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's hit in the back of the head.
And you get paralyzed or you can, die from that injury.
Yeah. That's an illegal move, and yet people still do it.
Yeah.
Like they're desperate to win. That they will.
Especially people like John Jones.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't do stuff that would get him outright exqualified, but he would do stuff that would injure you.
Exqualified or disqualified?
Oh wait, what did I say? Did I say exqualified?
Yes.
Disqualified. Okay.
Yeah, disqualified.
Like what he would do is he wouldn't do stuff that would get him outright disqualified from the fight. But he would do stuff that would slightly impair you, like poking in the eyes, for example. You lose 1 point. But here's the thing. 1 point versus you not being able to see well in one whole side of your face.
Yeah.
You can't see any punches like that.
Yeah.
So that's why...
Well, also in like boxing, if you can't see out of one of your eyes, the fight's over.
Basically,
Exactly.
And
especially with how often he'll eye poke you like that. You will not be able to see out of your eye. But the thing is about these fighters, though, is they want to keep fighting.
Yeah.
You can't really give up this fight.
Pride, basically. You don't want to
Exactly.
You don't want to lose to some cheater, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to beat his
Exactly.
ass.
And he knows that, and he knows what you're thinking. So that's what he preys on, and that's how he got, like, half of his wins, dude.
Yeah.
And does he go for knockouts? Or what? Does he just poke you in the
He
eye?
did for a really long while.
Because like...
But, like, he sort of does.
Because if he's trying to win off points, poking in the eye, man, that's kind of counterintuitive.
Yeah, like he doesn't win most of the points, but it's that when you're impaired like that, it makes you so much easier to win against.
Yeah.
Like not point wise. For example, when you're looking at these punches, right, coming from him, when one eye is just even a little closed, not even just fully closed, doesn't even have to be bruised, it's going to be like 60% harder to see where his punches are coming from one side.
He probably target that eye as well, since he knows
exactly.
Hurt, yeah.
So if he punches that side, then you're cooked.
Yeah, just start like get puffed up and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Talking about Mike Tyson, how do you think that ear tastes for him?
Delicious, bro. He was doing that for seconds. You not see him trying to get through the police?
Yeah, bro.
He wanted more.
That was crazy.
No,
that was crazy.
Like, what goes through your head to bite someone's ear off right away?
Evander Holyfield. I think what was going on, I don't really know, but like Holyfield didn't want the fight to end.
Yeah.
He still wanted to keep fighting Mike after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wasn't Holyfield one of the only people that did beat Mike Tyson?
I think.
Because Mike Tyson lost like his losses are in the single digits. I know that.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
You know Muhammad Ali's grandson is fighting.
Is he?
No, is he really?
He's a fighter, yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know his name that much. I don't know him. But he's like an amateur fighter, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he hasn't lost yet.
It's also hard because one main thing, you're mainly going to be getting hit in your face.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the main part.
I'm not gonna lie.
It depends, because some people like going for body shots.
Well, yeah, but like
cardio.
Most people are going to try to go for that knockout. They're going to try to go for your face.
Yeah, that's just common
Especially
sense.
when boxing, you can only hit those two spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You can't go below the belt. You can't do any of that. It's straight hands.
Yeah.
Dodge, weave, and then just whack them.
Especially if you block too much.
That's how it is.
If you block too much, your hands get hurt.
Yeah.
They start
Blocking
hurting like
also takes energy from you.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah.
Dude.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm more scared of boxing than I am MMA.
Me too, honestly.
Yeah.
Like way
Yeah.
more. Like
Because boxing, I think boxing is the deadlier sport out of the two.
it definitely is because like just listen to how it sounds.
two men in a ring
With shorts.
with
Yeah, with
shorts,
shorts.
big gloves on, and you're just
boxing
throwing
each other.
hands at each other's faces.
Especially
Yeah.
when the damage is more concussive
Mhm.
than
Yeah.
it is actual structural. That's the thing. That's the difference between MMA. When those smaller gloves hit you, of course it feels harder. But here's the thing: that concussive force isn't the same,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they can win in 19 different ways that have nothing to do with you getting knocked out.
Yeah.
And better yet, once you're knocked out or just can't intelligently defend yourself, you lose, period.
Yeah.
But in boxing, you can literally be stone cold out on the floor, and they're like, "We're gonna give you 10 seconds.
Yeah, if you can get up, this fight
you can get up,
continues.
you can get more brain
Yeah,
damage."
you get the most money you can get from them, basically.
Mhm.
It's basically like a showcase.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it's just-
I'm terrified of boxing. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
But like it also looks the funnest on
It looks
It
it
does look
yeah, it
pretty
looks
fun.
so
There's
fun.
like no wrestling, so like
Yeah.
it's basically
Like, I went
standing.
There's no
Yeah, yeah, it's
techniques
just
to it.
standing
You're
back.
just basically throwing
Yeah.
hands. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, there's techniques with your style
Yeah.
or whatever, but you know, you're just
standing. in
yeah,
front
you're
of the
boxing.
ring.
You're
Just
boxing.
you're just
You're
throwing-
You're just
hands.
throwing hands. That's
Yeah,
all
you're
it is.
boxing. That's all it is.
Just
Yeah.
dodge, throw.
Which
That's
it's
it.
not as easy as it sounds.
No, it's not.
No.
You gotta perceive
Because
that. you know?
footwork and then your
Yeah.
placement and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
You gotta have like fast hands.
Yeah, you gotta
with
have
punches,
fast thinking,
fast
too.
and like yeah, you gotta like think in like a millisecond.
Yeah. Because they could be quick. They could be real quick.
Yeah.
Like just a
You
jab.
gotta
is just
do like a
real quick.
rework run. You gotta find the openings, you know, that like
Oh,
a
true,
normal
yeah.
person wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
just off of watching it.
Yeah.
And again, in weight classes.
Yeah, there are
Like,
weight classes.
Someone could be my weight but be way taller.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they have longer reach. They have
Yeah.
so much more advantage, but you're still in the weight
you-
class,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you're still gonna fight.
Though
Yeah.
the thing about arm and reach, I learned from there was a kid that I knew. He was really tall and he had really long arms, and he did boxing for a few years. And how he explained it is, short arm people have just as much advantage over long
Well,
arm
yeah,
people.
because it's gonna be harder if the
It-
short people are
exactly-
closer.
yeah,
Because they
exactly.
have longer arms.
So-
and it's gonna be a
so
lot
those
more
long arm
unnatural
people-
to hit him.
Yeah.
If you get them anywhere near a ringside, they're cooked. Because you
Yeah,
can get
if they get
and
in
you
the
can
corner,
get full
it's over.
torque.
Yeah.
They're done for.
Yeah, you can
But
get full torque in your strikes
but
to
the
head
thing
or
is-
body, but they can't.
I think taller people still have a bigger advantage.
Yeah,
Just
they can
because
keep
of
it
that reach,
outside.
they
Yeah.
can't come in. If they perceive it well enough, they're not getting in.
Yeah.
You know.
No.
Yeah. So I guess if you're the shorter fighter and you're
Shorter fighter.
Yeah.
shorter fighter and you push forward and you slip a lot while going forward and you push them back, that is going to be like their bane of existence.
Yeah.
Because, like said, when your arms are super long and their head is right here, but they can get full torque in their strikes.
Yeah, and
with
it's
their
gonna be so
kinetic chain.
unnatural for you to defend
Exactly.
yourself up close or
Yeah.
like try to get any counter punches in.
Exactly. Like
It's
you
just gonna
can't
feel
really
so
do
unnatural.
anything.
It depends on the ring, the size ring, I guess.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they can ask for different size rings. You know?
It also depends
True.
on the fighter themselves
Yeah.
too, with
Like
their
how
whole
much training
style.
they got.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
much work they put in.
Oh,
their
true.
experience, how they can adapt to the
To the
Size
size
situation.
difference.
you
Yeah.
know?
Did you say something?
Huh? We're good.